Alright people, Indrid here, 3v3, Kathari Ruins, blue team. We've got SuperHooper, plays a plague champion, starts off range combat with his damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, some decent utility and support, can build turrets and repair, but is very slow. Alongside Commissar, Sebastian Yarrick is a Commissar Lord, good offense and support, fights in melee combat, begins with a refractor field. This is the Steel Legion elite scheme. And rounding off the blue team is myself as another plague champion. Red team, we have a couple of Eldar players. First up is Phoenix as a Warlock melee commander that leaps into combat, some awesome disruption and mobility, can also tank damage pretty well and has a few offensive spells. Alongside Cultured Boy is an Eldar Farseer support commander that fights in melee combat, lots of great buffs with some debuffs and control abilities too. And rounding off the red team is Dark Riku as an Apothecary support commander that fights in melee combat, by default begins with a targeted heal and a passive health regeneration aura. This is the new map I made for 2.3 then. No natural victory points, all of them contested, running through the middle, northeast to southwest, contested power at the top, and a non-symmetrical structural layout. Triple guardsman opening for Yarrick. Myself and Hooper going for Chaos Space Marines, Phoenix with some Howling Banshees, and double Dire Avengers for Cultured Boy. You usually see 2v2 fights in the top and middle of this map, and then the two bottom players duking it out, which is myself and Dark Riku, and the mid player occasionally coming down to support. Gates could be good for Cultured Boy to allow him to support both sides. They already have triple gens up, red team. We have triple gens on the way. Banshees forced off their triple guards on those volleys of last fire, and if you combine that with the Commissar's default execution skill, which buffs the damage by 100% of a single squad, you can put out some serious damage, especially to other light infantry. A double cap early on for blue team. This map is usually very quick. Riku there, annoyed that my heretic got away with about 2 hit points or 3 hit points. Yeah, that's what you get, Riku. That's how I feel when your assault marines get away with 300 hit points with no model losses. But as I was saying, this map is usually very quick because it's constant triple caps. It's very brutal. Shuriken coming up. In fact, a Shuriken from each player here. So you might see spotters from Yarrick. I can't remember what he got out in tier 1. And another Shuriken on the way for Cultured Boy. SuperHooper with Noise Marines, and I myself have some Noise Marines. I do like to use them versus Space Marines, since they do a really good job shutting down Tactical Marines, obviously, which is a big chunk of your damage output early on for a Space Marine player. Devastator's trying to reposition themselves, but I do have Noise Marines coming in. Riku wasn't to know that, and they managed to shut them down with that awesome Sonic Blast, and look at the damage it does when it hits all 3 models. Now Chaos Space Marines trying to force melee combat on them so they can't set up again and start firing that heavy bolt. To my Plague Champion also coming into play, getting some damage over time on the Tactical Marines who come and melee my Plague Champion. I was very lucky here because I wasn't actually paying any attention to my Plague Champion. As you can see, I was looking at my CSM, and if he stayed a few more seconds, he would have took my Plague Champion down most likely, but he was forced off, thankfully for me. Nurgle's worship going on from the Chaos Heretics, improving the health regeneration of my infantry. Plague Champion needs to back away. What am I trying to do here? Needs to back away, Indrid. There we go. Here comes the Apothecary, who seems to get a special attack right when he needs to. There we go. Of course he does. Knocks down 2 models with it. 495, 312. Warlock forced off, is going to go down in retreat, though, surely, and does. We do have aspect of the Avenger up for this Dire Avenger squad. Rangers also up for Phoenix. Oh, nice grenade on a huge blob of guardsmen there. We might see Psychic Storm from the Farseer. Psychic Storm totally wrecks blobs of guardsmen. 484, 312. Oh, we have some black grenades up from SuperHooper. Infected, all of this stuff. It does a decent amount of damage, as you can see, that infection. Yeah, Space Marines with Eternal War for SuperHooper. Now he's going for some Raptors. I already have my Raptors up, and I was pretty lucky, really, that I think it was Yarrick. Yeah, he put up 4 generators, which allowed me to get those Raptors up in a timely fashion. If he didn't do that, I wouldn't have my Raptors here, and I'd be in a bit of trouble dealing with those Devastators. Tactical Marines forcing melee combat on my Noise Marines. Doesn't want them firing that Sonic Blaster, but my Raptors help force them off. Plague Champion's gone down. The Assault Marines dealing with him quite easily. Special attack again on my CSM. We do have Eternal War. I'm trying to think if I should bash power or try and force off these Assault Marines. And I try and just, I'll figuring I could get one generator here, and I think I do. There we go, down goes one generator. There's the cacophony from the Noise Marines. Are going to need to run away quickly afterwards though, most likely. And Sanguine Chainsword up for the Apothecary, which makes him incredibly annoying in tier 1, especially when he's fighting heretics. Look at this pressure on our power. They took down a node, they took down one of our generators. Farseer forced off. Is he going to go, she going to go down in retreat? I don't think so. Maybe if those CSM forced melee combat. But they did not, she's going to go down anyway. In fact, I think one hit point and goes down thanks to the damage over time from that Plague Bolter, which is awesome. Contested wreck point is going to turn blue again. Red team do have the contested power and it's noded. I still have this VP somehow, and scouts moving forward with their shotguns and a sergeant, and Riku is very good with his scout grenades. Assault Marines moving up, jump troops with melee weapons, those chainswords and bolt pistols, disrupting units when they land, and they're incredibly tough. 400 hit points per model, and this is what Riku always does. He withstands pressure and then hits you back in a flash, and he always has his flamers, his flamer up at just the right time to bash your power, and I think he gets all of my generators here. He knows he can be aggressive with his Assault Marines and hold stuff off away from his Tactical Marines. Here comes my Plague Champion. I decide to kit him out with my tier 1 melee build to put some pressure on his Assault Marines. Plague Sword, Fetid Armor on the way, and I already have the Mucus Discharge. Takes him up to 900 hit points at level 1, which is pretty damn nice. 420, 300, 2-to-1 cap for the blue team. Just waiting for that Fetid so that I can suppress this stuff, and there is that suppression. Noise Marine's getting some good shots in. A takedown on Assault Marine, that was pretty good. And then he jumps in, and this was pretty lucky for Riku. I thought, look, he retreats the other way. If he retreated this way, he probably would have lost his Assault Marines there, because he would have been retreating through Raptors and my Plague Champion. Perhaps I should have jumped after them and try and finish them off there. 420 to 83. Now I'm getting support from Yarrick, which is very welcome. So Riku loses his loses 2 Assault Marines, loses his Apothecary, loses a Tactical Marine, but it did completely wipe out my power and capped up this area. So could have been better, could have been a lot worse though. And that was a fantastic grenade from Riku on all 3 of my Raptors. Wow. Almost level 2. Was pretty lucky not to lose them there. They bunched up. It's just that moment when a melee squad charges into combat and you can't control them, and they just about meet the other unit and bunch up, and you can throw a grenade perfectly there and hit them. Howling Banshees with the aspect of strength going up against that power. The Exarch will get that Executioner Spear, as you can see, that heavy melee weapon. We have a Manticore on the field for Yarrick. Heavy artillery pieces, parked it right on the edge of this wall. Assault Marines getting their aspiring champion for SuperHooper, and as usual I am the last to go tier 2. Don't have the power at the moment. Did fully kit out my Plague Champion and gave grenade launchers to my heretics. That was perhaps a mistake. I did that because I didn't want the Devastators slowing me down at all, but maybe I should have kept them with the aspiring champion to fight those Assault Marines. I figured my Plague Champion alone would be enough, and he's generally enough to control them, but they can usually jump away without taking losses from this guy, but we'll see. Now we see Cultured Boy supporting bottom. Has some Wraith Guard, which is a very good choice for him, I thought. Assault Marines there to aggro and draw fire. Wraith Guard can take shots. I need to be careful with their friendly fire, and he retreats them then. Here comes Yarrick with a very good flank. He still has those triple guards on, and they all have their sergeants and commissars now. He's got 2 with plasma guns, is that? Yes. But he gets caught by, wow, double shuriken in his face and needs to retreat out. Commissar Lord, pretty good in general for dealing with setup teams, since he has that awesome Basilisk Flare from his global bar. And again, Riku, perfect timing, comes to bash power up. And he's going to wipe all the gens, is he? He's so good at timing his gen bashes. Noise Marines with the Blastmaster getting shots in, but we do have a Wraith Lord top from Phoenix, and it's a pretty good army here, very versatile. Has Howling Banshees, Guardian Weapon Team, Rangers, and that Wraith Lord stomping around, which now of course has the melee resistance aura. So you want to take this thing down from range, bang. Splash damage from that huge It's not called a Wraith Side. A Ghost Glaive, I believe they're called now, these massive swords. Raptors jumping in. The Sparring Champion is there with Melter Gun and wow. And Power Fist, a really awesome Manticore Strike, wipes out the Shuriken from Yarrick. Beautifully done. Raptors jumping in to suppress it and immediately backing out. A really good Manticore Strike. This thing doing work from there. Really good map for Manticores. It's not easy to get up on these platforms to take them out. You can shoot up. This won't block fire. So, not impossible, but you need to make the foray forward to try and get them. Triple cap for red team, and there's that Basilisk Flare from Yarrick. And we can try and push forward and try to bash power here. My Plague Champion is still level 1. What a moron, Indrid. What Plague Champion of SuperHooper's level 2 has the Armor of Pestilence, so you might see the fist from that guy. The Commissar also level 2 with no war gear. And Eldar flanking from this raised platform with double shurikens and Wraith Guard. The Commissar does finish the cap and will retreat out. Okay, we bash the power there. Here comes Riku, Tactical Marines with Sergeant and Flamer, so we might see Stone Guard veterans, and there is that Psychic Storm doing horrible, horrible things to those guardsmen. My Noise Marines managed to escape the brunt of it, but here I am using the Unholy Stench just to suppress those Assault Marines and annoy their mobility a bit. My Plague Champion's in a bit of trouble though, needs to run away, getting knocked down over and over again. Shotgun Blast and a special attack, I think, from the Apothecary, but he does get away. 265, 278, a 2-to-1 cap for us. We have the top and the bottom VPs. Oh, Autark dropped in, almost wiping out those Noise Marines. Can she get one more hit with that Power Sword? She can, but it's not quite enough. She leaps into combat, as you can see, and gets the melee charge and gets one more hit and takes them out. She has that inspiration on kill, such as the Librarian and Terminators and stuff have. You saw those yellow circles emanating from her body when she made that kill. She also has a passive damage resistance buff to nearby allies. 262, 267, I think it's a resistance buff to range damage only, I believe, 15%. Again, a power bash from Wraith Guard and Flamer Marines. And this is where I'm not sure what happened here. Riku loses his Assault Marines. I didn't quite see if they didn't have the energy to jump out or he just hit a key and they didn't retreat. I'm not sure. It doesn't make any reference to a mistake, so I guess he just didn't think there would be that much stuff there, jumped them in and they went down. So that was a massive, massive victory for us, taking out the Assault Marines, which are incredibly annoying. Top power is decapped. We have triple gens and triple gens, thanks to Yarrick, who's pumping out these generators here. He's got 2 top and now all 3 bottom. Indrid is, I'm just leeching off of his generator building. Smack, can we get one of those Devastators? No, we can't. Raptors forced off of the Shuriken. 172, 267, a double cap for the red team, and tier 3 for Yarrick, tier 3 for myself, and tier 3 for everyone, in fact, apart from SuperHooper and Phoenix. SuperHooper going for Plague Marines in tier 2, down to 3 models now, but the same amount of health among those 3, so pretty sizable buff for these guys. 157, 267, Raptors jumping in, suppressing on land, and can they take out this Autark? They might be able to, but she does leap, healing and buffing nearby allies when she does so. She's staying in combat here, passively buffing, of course, these Howling Banshees, and there is that Blight Grenade. Was waiting for that. Level 2 Plague Champion has that Plague Fist going on, 72 DPS, heavy melee with the awesome Pestilence Strike. Is going to probably take out a model with each swing of this thing. Smack and smack. And now a sync kill. Attacks very slowly, of course, being a Power Fist, but huge damage per swing. This Wraith Lord still causing huge amounts of trouble here. Does Cultured Boy have a Bright Lance or something? I mean, Yarrick obviously doesn't have any AV, so SuperHooper's alone against that Wraith God. He does, Wraith Lord I should say, he does have Raptors with a Sparring Champion and Plague Marines, but sending Raptors into that Wraith Lord is a huge risk. Can I wipe out this Shuriken? I think I do. You only need to kill the infantry models and then the cannon itself exposed. There we go. Scouts. Lucky that he hasn't got any of those retreat grenades off. And again, Riku comes to bash power. 152. 237. He's in tier 3. Everyone's tier 3 apart from those two top players, which have been fiercely battling it out. Double cap now, triple cap for red team. Yarrick's Manticore halfway through level 1. They take down the node, but he managed to force them off afterwards. The Apothecary does have his purification rights. Here comes the Plague Champion. Is leveled yet? Yes, he has. Well done. And I managed to suppress everything there. Wraith God cannot be suppressed, which is why they're just backing away. You see those blue swirly symbols. That blue swirly effect is because they have Wraith Sight. Thanks to that Warlock leader. The Farseer herself will also give them Wraith Sight, and so will the Warlock, but the Warp's Rex up does not. Warlock's just gone down to the Plague Champion of SuperHooper, who's level 3, and here comes the Wraith God. CSM caught in a really bad place. I'm not sure why he's gone for Marcozine CSM against Eldar top, against double Eldar, essentially, since he's not really facing off against Riku. I think that's a waste of resources. Just keep them with the Aspiring Champion and Eternal War. They do a good job for you. Can he finish off those Banshees? You see, if this guy had Eye of Nurgle, he would have finished off those Banshees. 109, 213. Down goes a Wraith Guard. I think the Plague Champion also has Mucus Discharge up there, and he's switching between the grenades and Mucus Discharge. Bunker coming up from Yarrick, which is going to help us out a lot. And we take down the gens again. 109, 198. Lots and lots of gen bashes here. But we've all got tier 3. Chaos Terminators on the field for myself. Didn't want to upgrade them immediately. I wanted to wait and see if Riku got some Terminators of his own, and if he did, I would have gone for the Lightning Claws to really put huge amounts of pressure on them. Riku obviously saving for a Land Raider Redeemer here. He would have had a tank up already. Tons and tons of requisition, so he can repurchase any gens. I get caught really, really badly here by the Psychic Storm, just trying to move out, and I come in. I was trying to wait for my Plague Champion to come in to heal, but it was just too slow. But I did get the heal off on retreat there. 109, 165. Chaos Terminators with their Power Fists and those Twin Link Bolters. Really liking my Chaos Terminators now, thanks to that health regeneration buff and the melee damage buff as well. I'm finding quite useful. 109, 157. Usually I'd go straight for a Predator tank or the Great Unclean One in tier 3, but I don't think I've got the Great Unclean One once in 2.3 because of the Chaos Terminators and a nice Blight Grenade forcing off those level 3 Dire Avengers. 109, 147. Dark Reapers on the field for Phoenix. Cultured Boy has lost a lot of stuff. There's a Fire Prism on the way. Riku has a Land Raider Redeemer on the way, so we do have the upper hand here. We have a double cap, decent rosters on the field. I don't think any of us have lost the unit yet. I don't think. Did Yarrick have something else? I don't think he did. He does have the Fist of Brockus right now, which, as you can see there, says the legendary Power Fist, and it is a fantastic piece of war gear, preventing nearby allies from dying when None Shall Fall is active, and it does last a long time. None Shall Fall. You've got to focus down the Commissar Lord when it's active. Howling Banshee still causing all sorts of problems here for SuperHooper, even with his Plague Fist Plague Champion. He doesn't have that Icon of Nurgle. He's got that Mucus Discharge up now. CSM caught in a bad position again. We are level 3, so they must have killed a fair amount of stuff with that Marco Zinch upgrade. It does improve their damage versus all infantry targets, but you only get that extra damage versus heavy and super heavy infantry. And I think, since it is quite an expensive upgrade, I think that's what you should use it for in general. But he's doing a reasonable job with here. Phoenix lost a lot. Land Raider Redeemer on the field, very slowly making its way to bottom. And I don't really have the anti-vehicle to deal with it. I have Plague Marines out late game. Raptors jumping in, and they just get stuck here. I'm unable to move them because they're instantly suppressed by those Devastators, and I'm just forced to pull out. I need to get some Melter Guns to these guys. I think level 3 Raptors again. I think the change of the patch for Chaos is these improved Raptors with the Power Fist and Melter Pistol, I should say. They're doing a superb job in general. I've seen them do some great things in 2.3. Seer Council coming in from Cultured Boy. Might have gotten them from his global bar, which is cheaper for the Eldar Farseer. Power melee squad that leap into combat and passively buff nearby allies. Manticore strike from Yarrick. He's done a really great job with that Manticore, and lots of them hit the Land Raider Redeemer there, and Manticores are awesome for Land Raiders. Yeah, I'm just reminding him to save it for the Land Raider Redeemer, but he seems to know what he's doing. Him and Russ with the elite tank crew. Moving forward, almost going down to the Wraith Guard. One more volley might do it on that rear armor, but down goes the Warlock at just the right time, which, as you can see, stuns the squad. Eldar just capitulating a little bit late game, losing squads left and right, which can sometimes happen to Eldar because their squads, albeit very mobile, are generally not the toughest around. So in the frantic late game of tier 3, as you get into tier 3, late tier 2, they can tend to lose a lot of stuff, which can sometimes happen to Tyranids as well. 102.70. Here comes some Melter Gun Raptors, some SuperHooper, some fantastic play coming bottom here. He didn't throw his Melter Bomb though. Did he have the energy for it? I'm not sure. Mines dropped by Yarrick. That's one of the global abilities of the Commissar Lord. My Plague Champion is going to go down running into this Land Raider Redeemer. Nicely done, Indrid. You fall. Raptors level 3 do have the Melter Guns, and there's the Melter Bomb, and that's going to finish off the Land Raider Redeemer. Wraith Lord coming down from Phoenix has the shoulder mounted Shuriken Cannon, and it's all kicking off here. 79.70. Frantic action late game. Very, very close on VPs. My Noise Marine is able to just cap this VP here at their leisure. I do decide to get the autocannon up for my Chaos Terminators. Good damage to all targets. Small area of effect. There's the remains of the Land Raider Redeemer. These Devastators continuing to suppress stuff. See a Council moving in. Down goes the Wraith Lord, exploding on death. This bunker really helping us out here, allowing us to reinforce and get some health regeneration. I finally decide to get a Blastmaster up for my Noise Marines, and eventually I think put them inside that bunker. Lehman Russ with the Vanquisher Cannon, is that? I think it is. Gives it a slightly longer barrel. That Psychic Storm again doing very nasty things to those guards. I'm not sure why he retreated out though. He had the bunker right there to reinforce. 79-13, and there's the game for us. Triple cap right at the end. Brutal action. A short game, was it? I think just over 22 minutes, but look how low the VPs get. There you have it. Let's look at the commanders. SuperHooper's Plague Champion level 5 at the end with Plague Fist, Armor of Pestilence, and their Mucus Discharge. Yarrick's Commissar Lord level 6 was fully kitted out at the end with the Fist of Brockers. So I'm not sure what else he had, to be honest. Plague Champion level 3. Of course, I'm much lower levels than the other guys. You fool. I did have a nice army though. My Raptors got to level 4. My CSM level 2 with that Marco Zinch. And some Chaos Terminators at the end, which really helped me out. Bottom gave me that awesome staying power, especially combined with that bunker. Red team, Phoenix, Witchblade of Kernus, and Walk Through for his level 3 Warlock. Level 9 Farseer with Spirit Stones, Rune Armor with that awesome Psychic Storm, and Gravity Blade. Dark Riku's Apothecary level 5, Sanguine Chainsword, Purification Rites. I think the turning point was Riku losing his Assault Marines. If he had those guys, would have been able to put a lot of pressure on my Plague Marines, would have been able to tie up those Terminators. That would have been a bit dangerous. I would have been able to obviously tie up the CSM and the Noise Marines. I was kind of surprised they didn't replace them, in fact, in tier 3 and go straight for Vanguard Veterans or something. Got the Land Raider Redeemer out, but the Manticore dealt with that quite nicely. Level 3 Manticore really helped us out bottom. Wouldn't have been able to control it nearly as much if those Manticore strikes weren't coming in. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.